Ryan's eyes snapped open to the familiar hum of the Resilience's life support systems. But something was different. Weight pressed against his chest, and the scent of ozone and something floral filled his nostrils. He looked down and froze. Curled against him, her crystalline skin catching the soft blue glow of the ship's emergency lighting, was Queen Zephyra of the Nexari Empire. Her forearms were wrapped around his torso, her elegant head resting on his shoulder. The same alien ruler who had ordered the destruction of 3 human colonies just weeks ago now slept peacefully in his embrace. "What the hell?" Ryan whispered, careful not to move too abruptly. The last thing he remembered was collapsing in exhaustion after the failed peace negotiations on Kepler Station. Emma had been there, translating the Nexari's complex harmonic language while Ryan presented humanity's desperate plea for coexistence. The talks had broken down when Queen Zephyra declared humans too chaotic to share the galaxy with her ordered empire. "Ryan," Emma's voice crackled through his comm implant. "Are you receiving this? We've got a situation on the bridge." "Emma," he sub-vocalized, "I think I've got a bigger situation. The Nexari Queen is sleeping with me, literally." Silence stretched for several seconds. "Come again?" "I fell asleep alone in my quarters. I woke up with Queen Zephyra in my arms. She's still here." The Queen stirred, her large violet eyes opening slowly. For a moment, confusion flickered across her angular features. Then she realized where she was and jerked backward, her skin shifting from pale blue to deep purple. What Ryan had learned indicated extreme embarrassment in Nexari physiology. "Human Ryan," she said in accented standard, her melodious voice tight with confusion. This is not... How did I arrive in your sleeping chamber?" Ryan sat up slowly, keeping his hands visible. "Your Majesty, I was hoping you could tell me. The last thing I remember was going to sleep after the negotiations failed." Queen Zephyra's skin rippled through several color changes as she processed this information. Her forearms moved in complex patterns, a sign of deep thought among her people. "I remember. I was in my meditation chamber aboard my flagship. I was troubled by our discussions." "Troubled how?" She stood gracefully, her 7-foot frame towering over Ryan even as he got to his feet. Her skin had settled into a thoughtful silver green. "Your species confuses me, Ryan Torres. You speak of chaos as strength, of diversity as unity. These concepts should be contradictory, yet your people thrive despite or perhaps because of your disorder." Emma's voice crackled through the comm again. "Ryan, you need to see this. Whatever happened to you two happened to others. We're getting reports from across both fleets." "Others?" Ryan and the Queen said simultaneously. "Nexari and human crew members who went to sleep alone are waking up together. Apparently it's happening on both our ships and theirs." Queen Zephyra's skin shifted to deep gold, surprise mixed with intrigue. "This is impossible. My people do not intermingle during sleep cycles." Ryan activated his wall display connecting to the bridge. Emma's face appeared, her expression a mix of concern and scientific fascination. Behind her, Ryan could see other crew members frantically working at their stations. "Emma, what's the situation?" "We think it's some kind of psychic field generated by the nebula we're passing through," Emma explained. "The stellar cartographers are calling it the Empathy Nebula. Initial scans suggest it has properties that create temporary telepathic links between individuals who are emotionally or mentally focused on each other." Queen Zephyra stepped into view of the display. Emma's eyes widened, but she maintained her professional composure. "Your Majesty," Emma continued, "our scientists believe the nebula responds to subconscious thoughts and desires for connection. It brings together those who are thinking about each other." "Impossible," the Queen said, but her skin flickered with uncertainty. "I do not think of humans during my rest cycles." "With respect, Your Majesty," Ryan said carefully, "you said you were troubled by our discussions. Maybe part of you wanted to understand us better." The Queen's forearms crossed in a defensive pattern. "And you, human Ryan? Were you perhaps thinking of ways to convince me that your species deserves to share this galaxy?" Ryan felt heat rise in his cheeks. "Maybe. Probably. Yes." For the first time since the negotiations began, Queen Zephyra's skin showed the warm golden hue that indicated amusement. "So the nebula granted both our subconscious desires. You wish to convince me. I wish to understand. And?" Ryan asked. The Queen was quiet for a long moment, her skin cycling through thoughtful colors. Your dreams, human Ryan, I experienced them. Your memories, your emotions, your species' history of overcoming impossible odds through cooperation, despite your differences. She turned to face him fully. I saw the great wars where enemies became allies, the disasters where strangers became family, the explorations where fear became wonder. Your chaos is not random destruction, it is adaptive evolution. Emma leaned forward on the display. Your Majesty, does this mean? It means, the Queen interrupted, her skin now shimmering with the deep blue of decisive action, that I have much to reconsider. Human Ryan, your people have shown me something my ordered empire has forgotten. That strength can come from embracing uncertainty rather than controlling it. Ryan felt something shift in the room. A change as palpable as the artificial gravity. Does this mean you're willing to discuss coexistence again? Queen Zephyra's skin brightened to the silver white of hope. I believe it means we have already begun coexisting, whether we intended to or not. The nebula has shown us that understanding requires more than words. It requires sharing our very dreams. She extended one of her 4 hands toward Ryan. Perhaps we should begin these new negotiations by acknowledging what we learned in our sleep. Sometimes the greatest diplomatic breakthroughs happen when we lower all our defenses. Ryan took her hand, surprised by its warmth. So what now? Now, the Queen said, her skin glowing with new possibility. We teach both our peoples that the strongest bonds are often formed in the most unexpected circumstances. After all, if a human and an Nexari queen can find common ground in their dreams, perhaps our species can find it in the waking world as well. As the Resilience and the Nexari flagship continued their journey through the Empathy Nebula, Ryan couldn't help but smile. Sometimes the best diplomatic solutions came from the most impossible situations. And sometimes waking up with your former enemy in your arms was exactly what the galaxy needed.